everyone, this is Arno with the BGC, and I'm here with my guest, Jess. Jess, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi, my name is Jess, and I just recently started my own business. It's called Skivvy, and it's a sustainable line of intimates, currently handmade by me.
Awesome. So that actually answers my first question, which is, what do you do for a living? Um,
Okay.
so you currently make and design all of the products for your own company, which is called Skivvy?
Yes, correct.
Cool. Awesome. And why did you originally get into this?
So talking generally about fashion, that's definitely always been like what I've known I wanted to do, my dream career, my dream industry. Talking about intimates specifically, I think one of my favorite things about fashion is that it has so much power over the way that it can make you feel. And so with Skivvy, I wanted to create something that was really for women that made them feel beautiful, natural, confident. Yeah, that's where Skivvy came from, really.
Awesome. And you were saying it was sustainable as well, right?
Yeah, so I source everything from a Canadian fabric retailer that's sustainable organic cotton. That's usually the fabric that I use.
Cool. So what does the day-to-day look like for you?
So right now it would be a lot of fulfilling orders. So what that looks like is taking my fabric and then taking my pattern. So a pattern is basically like the puzzle pieces to making a garment. So tracing that out of fabric, sewing it together, that's definitely the most time consuming portion of it. And then if I am fulfilling an order, it would be packaging it up, mailing it, all that stuff. And then other than fulfilling orders, it would be just like maintaining my Instagram. That's the only like marketing platform I'm using right now. So just like making sure that I'm active on there, posting, replying to people. Yeah, that's about it.
Sounds like a lot of work. What type of training or schooling did you do in order to be able to achieve this?
So my background is I have a bachelor's of commerce from the University of Calgary. And then a few years later, I did a fashion styling program from Ryerson. That's in Toronto. So that definitely helped me a lot. I learned a lot from those courses. Definitely no regrets in taking those things. However, I did want to just mention that there are like a lot of different ways you can reach like starting your own business or being in the fashion industry. There's definitely like no like recipe, if that makes sense, to make like achieving what you want to do in the fashion industry. So yeah, just um, keeping in mind that everybody's path is unique. And yeah, by kind of floating around, which is what I did, you kind of find out what you like and what you don't like, and it will always bring you closer to where you're meant to be. So yeah.
Um, so to recap a little bit,
Mhm.
you do training and schooling in commerce and fashion, but those aren't necessarily must-haves in order to get into the fashion industry.
Yeah, exactly. I also want to say one really good example is Sarah Blakely. So she started Spanx, which is a billion-dollar company, basically synonymous with shapewear at this point. And she had zero business training, no fashion experience, I think like $2,000, and she started Spanx. So like, if that's not a testament to how much like hard work can get you, then there's a lot of information also available on the internet these days. So I definitely think that whatever you want to learn is available to you.
Totally. Thank you. That's really great advice. So how someone, I guess we've been talking about all these questions as we go here. But if someone did want to get a job in the field or to even get started in the field, how do you go about that?
So I would definitely recommend putting yourself out there, volunteering where you can, doing internships where you can. For me, I did a couple of years volunteering on the marketing team of a company called Park here in Calgary, and they put on like various fashion events throughout the city. So that was a lot of fashion shows. There's like a small business seminar as well. So that was really great experience for me. It really like also it lets you make connections with the other like designers that are there. So for me, working through Park, I met a designer friend and later interned for him. So that kind of just goes to show that putting yourself out there, volunteering, internships, they will lead you to other opportunities. So definitely just seeing like what's going on in your community, seeing where you can help, even doing like a retail job, it will inevitably get you connections to people that will be able to help you in your career later. So definitely just putting yourself out there is, I think, the best.
And I think that stands true with a lot of careers as well. I've been doing a lot of these interviews, and that seems to be definitely a common thing in that you need to put yourself out there if you want to succeed in a field. But what are some of the challenges that you've faced in the fashion industry?
So going back to volunteering and things like that, the fashion industry is one of those industries where unfortunately a lot of entry level positions are not paying you. So I would just say that to keep in mind if you are going to go for these um, opportunities, to just know that you might have to work two jobs for a couple of years, but that's just like kind of how it goes in fashion. I don't know like anybody who didn't have to like work for free at the beginning of their career. So definitely keeping that in mind. And then if you're starting a business, I think the biggest challenge for me has been just differentiating myself. Like, for example, what's going to make somebody want to buy Skivvy over like Skims, for example, making sure that you have your competitive advantage and you have like your set position in amongst your competitors and just like knowing where you stand.
Totally. Um,
Mhm.
that's that's really great. Thank you. Any advice or tips for youth who are interested? I know we kind of touched on this already, and it's a lot of it's putting yourself out there.
Mhm.
Do you have any kind of final advice or tips for someone who would be interested in fashion?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to say that my biggest tip, as cheesy as it sounds, is to just stay true to yourself. Your voice and your vision is something that's completely unique to you. That's something that nobody can take away from you. And I know that in the fashion industry, it can be easy to kind of get wrapped up in like the trends, what's cool, and like the latest things that everybody is doing. But just know that what you have and your like natural ability is good enough, and you don't need to change any of it. I mean, for me, I think it's way better to get criticized for something that's you than criticized for something that's like, I guess, trying to replicate something else. So definitely just staying true to who you are. It's enough. It's great. And yeah, definitely just trusting yourself, knowing your voice, and knowing that that is great. That's all.
Amazing. I think that's really great advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So last question here. Your business is an intimate, so I will give a bit of a content warning to any youth out there that if they were to check out your stuff, it is dealing, with intimates. But if they did want to check out your stuff, where can they do so?
So my Instagram page is at Skivvy Shop, SKIVVYSHOP. And then I also just wanted to say if anybody has any further questions or wants to talk, they can definitely reach out to me via DM or my email is skivvyintimates@gmail.com. And yeah, I'm available whenever. Feel free to reach out. And yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really
Yeah,
appreciate this. And I'm sure the youth that are out there watching appreciate it as well.
I
Um,
hope.
Yeah, totally. And if you have any questions, like Jess said, you're welcome to email her directly, or if you want to submit, we do have a form at the bottom of the web page here, and we'd be happy to forward those to her as well. If we get an overwhelming amount of questions, then I'd even be happy to book Jess in for a second Zoom session with youth there potentially, as long as that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And as a reminder, we'll be posting videos throughout the week, so stay tuned.
Thanks so much.